Hello, hello. I hope that you are all having an amazing first day of the new year. Tonight I would like to do a gentle energy cleansing, kind of wipe off everything we want to leave behind and not take with us. I would also like to talk a little bit about forgiveness and why, in my humble opinion, sometimes we have it all wrong. Sometimes it's not about forgiving, not forgiving what was done to us anyway. Not forgiving the person that did it. I do think that forgiveness is important, but I think that we need to take the pressure off of ourselves of forgiving our abusers. I don't think that they just get forgiveness. Forgiveness should be earned the same way that trust is. And when people say, you've got to just forgive and forget. You've got to get over it. You've got to move on. So where does that leave the abuser? Sorry? Asking for forgiveness? Asking for forgiveness? Not usually. So why do we just have to forgive and forget? Why does it put the pressure on the person that got abused? Why did the person that did the abuse not have to actually be sorry? I think we do need to forgive someone. Right there. Yourself. We've got to find a way to forgive ourselves for ignoring the red flags. After the fact, we see them there. We feel silly for overlooking them. But we just wanted loved. We wanted attention. We wanted some validation, maybe. And we were looking for it in the wrong places. And while that's a lesson that we need to learn of what not to do, putting our validation and our self-worth in someone else's hands, it doesn't mean that we deserved what was done to us. It doesn't mean that what someone else did, they're no longer accountable for or have to be held accountable for. It doesn't mean that you for some reason deserved what they did. It doesn't mean that you attracted to you that kind of abuse. Sometimes people abuse you because you're attractive, because you shine a light, because you have this oomph about you, and they want to stamp that out. Jealousy is huge. Jealousy will make people do really mean things. They will say harsh things. They will do things to try to get you to fail in life, to make you feel like you're not enough. Abuse comes in all kinds of shapes and sizes. And yes, forgiveness for our hearts, that is important. But we need to forgive ourselves. Forgive ourselves for staying in situations for longer than what we should have. Forgive ourselves for not putting up the boundaries and saying, no, if you treat me like that, I will not stay. And then we stay too long. And it's okay. It's lessons we all go through. But it's time to stop. It's time to stop allowing others to mistreat us and then to have it put on us, on our shoulders, to have to carry not only the forgiveness, but the I'm sorry too. No. No more. Things hurt. We hurt people. Everyone's the villain in someone's story. But there's a difference when you have an intention to hurt somebody and when you accidentally hurt someone by triggering their insecurities. Intention is everything. And when you say to someone, what you did, what you said, that really hurt me, and they come at you with, well, that really upsets me that you're upset. That's not okay for you to try to hold me accountable for the mean shit that I did. Now I'm mad at you. Now you're the one in the wrong. And sometimes we even get talked into that it was our fault. That somehow we did deserve it. We didn't. You didn't. And it's okay to take away the lessons, of course. That's what we should do. That's what we're here for, is to take the lessons from the things that we've been through. But sometimes that lesson is saying, that's it. That was all. That is the last time that I will tolerate less than what I deserve. Nope. Sorry. Not here for that. Sometimes love means loving yourself enough to stick up for yourself, the way that you would if it was family, or a little child, or a friend. I think that it just extends the abuse when we as the victims have to make excuses for our abusers, when we are trying to justify what they did. That's not on us. It's sometimes what we end up doing is we almost apologize for our abuser because we feel bad for them for what they did. Because if you're a caring, loving person and you hurt somebody, it makes you feel really bad. It hurts yourself to hurt others. And so we expect that same thing out of others. And so we'll think, oh, I would be so embarrassed. Oh, I would feel so bad if I did that. Don't project that onto them. If they feel bad for what they did, if they want to make it right, they would be putting more effort into doing those things than the effort they put in to hurt you. Especially when the abuse continues on and on and on. Why should the abusers get a free card? I don't even have to be sorry. I can just be forgiven. I knew I knew not what I was doing. Yeah, you did. They did. They knew. Some people feel so bad about themselves, and they want others to feel the same way. No more. We are done with that. The sad truth of it is, some people enjoy hurting others. They do. How is that on the victims that they choose out? And why, if they are going around hurting people, are the people that they hurt responsible for all of the lessons learned, all the justification, all the forgetting and moving on, and all of the forgiveness? Isn't that a lot to put on the plate of someone who has already been mentally, emotionally, or physically mistreated? It's time to change that way of thinking. They don't just get forgiven. I think that sometimes the idea that it's on us to forgive and move on and all that jazz, it leaves us susceptible to accepting more of it, whether it's from the same person or someone else, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's work or friendship, family. None of those things give a green light to treat you in any way that they want to, and that you're just going to stick around for that. I do think forgiveness is great, but I think it's us that we need to forgive. It's forgiving yourself for not knowing better. It's forgiving yourself for putting in the time and the energy and the love and the emotions where it wasn't, not only was it not appreciated, it was taken advantage of and walked all over. We have to understand that those things are not on us. It is not our fault. And it's not on us to be sorry for them. We don't owe our abusers anything. We don't owe them understanding. We don't owe them justification. And we don't owe them to be automatically forgiven, so they can just have no consequences for their actions and just go on being the same way, not learning. What we do is we owe ourselves the ability to have self-awareness and understand what it was going on within us that allowed us to get in that situation. And that in no way means that it was your fault. You never know what kind of situation you can be in. And sometimes we get caught up in feeling for them. Like we can feel and pick up the reasons that they lash out. Maybe someone has rage, and we can pick up on the fact that they've got mother or father wounds, and so we feel bad. But their traumas isn't to go ahead to hurt others. You don't take that hurt that's in you and hurt others and have that help anybody or anything. It doesn't. It just leads to more hurt. It's not fair. We can feel bad for them. Doesn't mean we have to be around them again. We can feel bad for the little kid that they were, that probably experienced some forms of abuse themselves. We can feel bad for that inner child that they've got. But it's not our job to feel bad for them for hurting us. It's not our jobs. Let's let that go. I think that one of the first steps in forgiving ourselves is saying, I did not deserve that. Yes, it happened. I did not deserve it. And not only did I not deserve it, I have now learned to no longer take it. You're going to stick up for yourself the way that you've always wished that somebody else would. The way that you would stick up for someone else. That's what we owe ourselves. That's where we can pull the goodness out of the hurt that we've been through. I hope that you liked this little gentle cleansing tonight. And I hope that you liked my little bit of insight, my little 2 cents on how I feel about victim blaming, shaming, and having it all stacked up on the shoulders of the ones that took it, that took the pain, the ones that got knocked down and dragged out. I hope it gives you something to think about. And I hope that it helps you release that. Release the feeling of needing to forgive. Forgiving the wrong people anyway. Forgiveness is beautiful and moving on is beautiful. Learning lessons is beautiful. But we need to do that for ourselves. Thank you so much for sticking around. I hope that you are able to rest calm and serene, knowing that you are loved, you're protected, and you're guided. And you're not alone. You're not alone. Have a good